How much should you be paying your Philippine VAs in 2026? Hey guys, I'm Mark Jacinto from Emotion Recruiting. I hope business is good this year, and 2025 was kind of weird, but hope things bounce back this year, which seems to be the case. All right, so here's the big question: how much should you really be paying for VAs that are based in the Philippines? I've been in the business for 10 years. We've been specializing in Philippine remote workers since pandemic, and I can tell you that the rates have been going up steadily. They kind of slowed down in 2025. In 2026, things have kind of changed because we see companies closing down. We see a lot of AI replacing VAs. We see company restructures going on. So we see a lot of supply. Now, I'm a little bit worried about that because when supply increases, the salaries tend to decrease. But the risk there is that if you start hiring at low or below market, let's say you hire at $500 a month, the risk there is that a lot of VAs are job stacking. So you might be like, oh, I found this person, he's really good, and at $500 a month. Well, what they're probably not telling you is that you're probably the second full-time job they have, or maybe the third in some cases, or the first, and then they're gonna have a couple of other jobs on top of you. So you want to be careful about that. Okay, so the question then, how much should you be offering if you want to prevent that thing from happening? VAs do it because times are tough. Times are tough. Philippines is not a first world country, and inflation has been really bad in the Philippines over the past couple of years. There's been a corruption scandal last year, and growth has slowed down, opportunities have slowed down, global economy has slowed down. Sometimes VAs stack jobs because they have no choice. They need income. They need to make ends meet. They have emergencies. They have to pay for sick family members and so on. I don't support job stacking. For me, if it's fine if they're completely transparent and they inform their employers about it. But please remain reliable and remain honest. But anyway, so I know most of the time, you guys, most of my clientele want to have, full loyalty. They want their VAs to have 100% commitment or even more to their business. No moonlighting, no sidelining, of course, with some exceptions, right? But if you're looking for somebody really full time, somebody who can commit to you 100%, how much should you pay? There isn't a magic figure, but I can give you a range. I can tell you that if your VA is earning around $1,200 a month to around $2,000 a month, there's some stability there. You wouldn't be too pressured to get another job on top of that. So for an average family, maybe husband, wife, one or two kids, then yeah, that's totally reasonable. That's totally doable. You could live on that amount, perhaps. Maybe you don't need to have a two-person income. It's decent. $500 a month? No, there's no way you could live off that. Keep that in mind. Now, if you're earning $2,000 a month, then there's a little bit more stability. There's a little bit more long-term thinking. You're able to save more. You're able to, make decisions which aren't just purely based on survival, but a little bit more long-term. You can start thinking about, okay, how do I grow as a professional now? How do I improve my skills? How do I provide more value? Rather than just always, okay, how am I gonna survive next month? How am I gonna make my next home payment? How am I going to pay for the operation of my sick mother, and so on and so forth, right? Look, I mean, I know we're all doing our best here, and if you can afford, if you're at that place where business-wise you can afford to pay around $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a month for your VAs, then that's what I would recommend, because you get more loyalty, more stability. Okay, but having said that, what do you do? How do you navigate 2026 given that there's more supply right now and there's more availability? Let me give this specific question. Is it possible to hire at, let's say, $500 a month? The answer is probably yes. You could find a few gems at $500 a month, but assuming they're not stacking jobs, then chances are, if they really are good at $500 a month, then a competitor is going to snap them up. Somebody else is going to want them. Somebody else is going to hire them. Somebody else is going to find them. It's not sustainable. So my recommendation is, if you find somebody really good at lower price, $500 a month, as soon as the person has proven themselves, bump them up to around 800, 1,000, 1,200, and a couple of more things, right? So I think the smarter approach towards how much you really need to pay is try to understand what the market rates really look like. Don't rely on studies. Don't rely on all of these reports that you're seeing. Because, as an example, okay, so Online Jobs PH released a report of market rates. But the thing is, they were based on asking salaries of applicants. And what's wrong with that? Okay, so you have a job ad, and if 100 people apply, you get the average asking rates of that 100 applicants. And what is the problem with that? Well, if you've posted job ads, you know that 90% or more of applicants are probably not qualified. They don't even make the shortlist, right? So why are you basing it on applicants who are not qualified? That really doesn't make sense. So what you should do is test the market, post a job ad, or work with an agency who know what they're doing and have a lot of experience with very specific roles. Find out what the exact information is. Take a look at the resumes, validate that oh yeah, these are the right person that you're looking for, and see exactly what the market rate is. Because there's a lot of nuance. There's a very wide range between, for example, an executive assistant who's just doing basic stuff and ticking off tasks, and an executive assistant who's really solving problems for you and who's really able to buy back your time and to free up you to do strategic stuff and CEO stuff, right? Don't believe in all of these market reports. I would not trust them, and I never have. So yeah, bottom line is 2026, there is availability. There's supplies there, but the good ones are very well guarded, right? So companies are paying them a lot. It takes a lot of effort and time to find them, and you have to do more deliberate sourcing. Don't rely on job ads, that's for sure. There is availability, but just be careful, right? If you find somebody who's cheap, make sure to bump them up to something that's more stable. Try to understand how much they really need to earn for them to be stable, and try to get there. Other than that, try to understand what the market rates are. Let's start from there. If you're at a place in business where you can do that, then that's absolutely what you should do. You probably understand that some roles really, 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 really can drive ROI for your business and drive value, especially for high ROI roles. Just pay what it costs. Bring them in, and they're going to pay for themselves several times over. If you need help with benchmarking, compensation, or if you want to have an idea what the market looks like for a very specific role that you have in mind, I think I just want to mention here that you would be surprised what's available. Some of our clients have been surprised that, oh wow, we did not expect that you could find this person. Even locally, it's very hard to find, but sometimes we're able to find that person. Don't hesitate to hit me up and just check, okay, is this sort of thing available or not? Because I will let you know if this person is not available, and we'll keep it real. Okay, but happy to hear your thoughts, and I do hope you get in touch.